Welcome back to the Dividend Diplomats YouTube channel, guys. You've got your boys, Bert and Lanny here, the favorite, the best, the one, the only dividend investing channel out here on YouTube. And guys, we're talking about Buffett, not Jimmy, not the buffet. We're talking about Warren Buffett's top three stocks here on today's video. Are they good stocks to buy right now? How many do you own, and are you holding the bag?
Not talking about those pies in the Buffett Dear Dutchman buffet, lady. Before we
Yeah.
jump in, everybody, subscribe to the channel. Give this video a thumbs up. It's a great time to end the year and reflect on the GOAT and some of his largest investments. Look, Warren Buffett's one of the most famous dividend investors out there. Everybody, we've learned so much from him. I know all of you have learned so much from him. So I think it's very appropriate. Let's take a look at some of those investments that he's made.
We all know that he's got a few large, massive positions. The elephant in the room, obviously, is his Apple stock position, which he owns. Gosh, I think closing in on close to 200 billion invested into Apple. So a significant part. I think I saw the article is almost half of his entire Berkshire portfolio is Apple. So we'll be talking about them. But the other two stocks, it's always very interesting to see kind of where his top holdings, kind of end up at. I know Bert just mentioned it as well. He just can't seem to get away from that financial sector, guys. So we're
Oh,
going to look at them. We're going to evaluate them, right, Bert, through the Dividend Diplomat stock screener.
yeah, I think we should. And our screener has three simple metrics: PE ratio less than the S&P 500, payout ratio less than 60%, history of increasing dividends. So we look at that 5-year average dividend growth rate and how many years they've increased that dividend. Oh yeah, there is that fourth bonus metric, isn't there, Landy? Where we look at that dividend yield after we look at those first three metrics. I guess we should kick it off at the top, right?
Let's kick it off at the top. Let's look at Goliath. Let's look at Apple, his $178 billion investment that he has with Apple, which is ticker symbol AAPL. And hey, for a $178 billion position, Apple's up 55% this year.
Yeah, it's insane how much Apple stock never seems to cool down and what it seems to do. I mean, they have more cash than anyone knows what to do with. They're ready to make a move. They're the transformational company that everybody loves.
Warren Buffett's like, yeah, we share a trade with cash.
Yeah, that's right. And he was like, you can pick up a few Cokes every quarter from that dividend from there. Few 12 pack. You might not even be able to afford the 12 packs anymore with how much that price has jumped up.
I wonder if he goes in for that cherry Coke.
Oh, maybe only if they announce a dividend increase. He goes like, "This is a special occasion. Let me get that cherry Coke in there." So
Apple stock, is this the stock to buy? Warren's holding obviously, over almost half his position at Berkshire is within Apple. But they're almost $200 a share at $193.60.
didn't they stocks? What year did they stock split?
They've done it a couple times, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I was gonna say. All right. They're at 193.60. Their forward EPS is $6.57. The PE ratio is 29.47.
A little high, a little pricey for my taste right now. I don't know about you, Bert.
Yeah. How much of that earnings do you think is interest income from the cash sitting in some bank? Because I was gonna say I gotta imagine they're getting a
Well,
high.
yeah, well, what's their cut? 'Cause don't they do that partnership with Goldman?
Yeah, I think they're ending it. I thought I saw something that Goldman wants to sell the Apple Card business. I'm fact checking this right now. But yeah,
Fact check it.
yeah, Goldman Sachs is getting out of the Apple credit card, but and I think they're winding down that Apple savings account program. There's something to it. So the partnership didn't work out, but clearly it hasn't harmed Apple because they're up 50%.
Up 50%. They pay a dividend right now,
Yeah,
24 cents per share per quarter at almost a dollar at 96 cents right now, 14.61% dividend payout ratio. So very low. So
yeah,
they would have an astronomical, a very large dividend growth rate, right?
jinkies, but they don't. It's only 6.15%. They've increased that dividend for 10 years. It's almost as if the dividend and the dividend growth is just to appease shareholders to say that you're paying the dividend, but they
It's
don't
just
want
to get
to.
into those dividend ETFs, I think.
Yeah, it might be. The reality is they don't pay a high dividend, they don't grow. They have a lot of money to put back into the business when they decide to invest it. They're ready to strike and they can do whatever they want to.
Yeah, they've got content, obviously, which we know cost a lot. It's a heavy cash intensive production there with their Apple TV. Check out that Warner Brothers Discovery Paramount cluster. You know what?
They're like we're in the business to put them out of business. They're like we're gonna harm them.
Yeah, we're in the business of killing never other businesses. But Apple, 10 years of growing dividends, 6%, like you said, Bert, dividend yield is swelling up to 0.5% right now.
Yeah, it's insane. So with that 50% year, 55% year-to-date price increase, of course, it's going to be the number one position in Buffett's holding. I mean, he's just crushed it on this investment. There's
Yeah,
nothing.
Warren's just doing this right now,
Yeah,
just like he scored a touchdown.
I love it. So Apple was the top holding. Let's shift gears. Let's shift sectors entirely here. Let's talk about
Bert,
that
you got to
number two
take this
holding.
one
I
too.
do. We always talk about this one because it was the first stock I ever owned, courtesy of my late grandma. She got this for me as my bar mitzvah present, so it's always going to hold a special spot in my portfolio. This stock is Bank of America, ticker symbol BAC. Love it. I love the financial sector. And it's shocking that this is the number two stock in his portfolio, especially because we've heard about how Buffett's been buying up and becoming such a large shareholder in Citibank itself, too. I was surprised that they were number two for Bank of America. Could just be simply that I forget as well.
Well, they're large, big ownership here in BAC, guys. And this stock has been flat as they come out of the banking crisis. $33.43. Projected earnings are three and a quarter. So price to earnings based on the comeback of the price is actually higher than what we're used to seeing for Bank of America. I think we were used to watching them in like the mid to upper 20s, actually, right,
Yeah,
Bert?
that's what it was.
Um,
That's why I haven't even thought about them because of where their price is.
yeah, so they're at 10.29 PE, and they actually pay the same amount of dividends as Apple does. But the payout ratio is about 30% right now for Bank of America. Dividend growth for 9+ years, double what Apple is at 11.38%. So a very solid dividend growth rate. So no wonder Buffett likes it. He's like, give me that dividend, pay me more, give me that cash flow.
Love it. And if you want to talk about the disparity between the first position and the second position in Buffett's portfolio, his investment in Apple is $178 billion. His investment in Bank of America is 31.7 billion. So the Apple position is over 5.55 times larger than Bank of America. So that's what we're working with here.
Not too shabby.
No, not too shabby at all. It's also a massive Bank of America position, so let's not discount that. So his number two holding, Bank of America. I love it. Buffett, I'm glad you followed my grandma's investment advice over the years and just picked up Bank of America after she bought them for me. Shows she's a smart lady. What can we say?
He's a smart guy for taking wise advice
Yeah.
from Rupert's grandma. But guys, we're still sticking in kind of the financial services industry. I said services because that's what this company does. They process your payments. They provide service. They provide lines of credit. We are talking about American Express. Ticker symbol is AXP, and Warren Buffett and Berkshire have a 25 to 26 billion dollar position in American Express. And when we get to the dividend growth, you know, it just makes a lot of sense, as well as it's kind of the combination of both of the first two tickers because they've had a nice run up in stock price with a nice dividend and a nice dividend growth rate.
Yeah, and that's a nice thing that like you like about American Express compared to Visa and MasterCard. Obviously, those two are great companies. This isn't knocking on them, but you get a little bit more of a yield when you talk to American Express because their business is fundamentally different compared to Visa and MasterCard because they have the bank structure too with it, with the
Yep.
loan, with the savings accounts and other things. They can do a little bit more and it can earn them the right to pay a larger dividend.
Yep, you're spot on, guys, or spot on, Bert. $122.53. Again, up 26% this year. So they've had a great year, beating the S&P 500. Expectations are $12.36 with a low PE of only 9.9.
That's wild. So let's check out that payout ratio. So they do pay that annual $2.40 dividend. Gives you a payout ratio of 19.42%. Very nice.
Very nice. And when you get into the growth rate, they paused it during COVID 2020, 2021. They kind of kept the dividend the same. So they're only back with 2 years of dividend growth. So factoring in 0%, their 5 year average dividend growth is actually still over 10%. But Bert, I wouldn't do it justice if I didn't bring in at least that last dividend growth, which went from 52 to 60. So that is a 15%
Ooh,
dividend growth rate. And Bert,
solid.
I'm rewinding the tape. To get to 52, they went from 50 or 43. So that was a 21% growth rate. So their growth rate is a lot better than that 10% you'll see here on the screen.
Yeah, it's beautiful. With the run up in consumer debt over the last 2 years, places like American Express and in the credit card sector are able to benefit from all the transactions that are being processed and all of the different facets of their business.
Oh, it's true. It's damn true, Bert.
Yeah, so let's look at that yield. That yield is 1.96%. So it's slightly above the S&P 500 and well above the Visa, the MasterCard within their sector.
Man, wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's
Oh, wow.
a great yield.
Yep. Yeah, yielding 5-year average is 1.29% as well. So almost 70 basis points higher than that. So those are Warren Buffett's top three stocks: Apple, AAPL, Bank of America, BAC, and American Express, AXP. Out of these three stocks, I'm going to hit it first. I like American Express at current metrics. I don't own them. I own Visa. I'm not saying I would buy it, but if you don't have one, that is my pick out of these top three.
You want to know what my opinion is, Laney? You want to know what my opinion is?
Yeah, bring it.
You ready? I agree with you. I think I agree with you. Yeah, I'm on the same page with you on this. You look at the metrics of the three, American Express jumps off the page to me.
Looks really solid, guys. Now, out of all three positions, I don't directly own any. Bert, how many do you own?
Just my one, just my grandma's shares that are still sitting there in my
It's a great
portfolio.
one.
Bank of America. That's the only one I own. But the question is, how many do you own, everybody? What do you think of Warren Buffett's top three? How many? What do you think? Ah, my goodness. How many do you own? My coffee's settling in. I am ready to go today, everybody. Let us know what your thoughts are about Apple, Bank of America, or American Express. Or do you prefer some of Warren Buffett's other investments that have fallen outside the top three of his portfolio?
Now, let us know in those comments below, guys. Again, do your own research, not investment advice here, but we, both like American Express. Subscribe to this channel, like this video, give a ode right now to Warren Buffett, guys. Or is there something else I'm missing?
I think so. And I have a pretty good idea what it is, but I don't want to be the one to tell the community. I think
You're
you
either with us or you're against us, Jack. That was Bert the Hurt Man and Lanny from the Dividend Diplomats. Over and out.